They call it the Big Apple. But today, New York City becomes the bowling capital of the world.
New York, New York. New York, New York.
New York, New York.
It's a bowling town.
The Statue of Liberty in New York Harbor as we welcome you to CBS Sports coverage of the Pro Bowlers Tour. We're in Bryant Park in New York City for the New York City PBA Experience. A beautiful afternoon and a historic day as well. Hello everyone, I'm Gary Sayville along with PBA Hall of Famer Marshall Holman. And Marshall, today will be something totally different. The first time a PBA championship will be contested outdoors.
Gary, something the world of professional bowling has never seen before, and the players certainly will have to contend with some different obstacles. First, they'll have to acclimate themselves to the surroundings. You know, the bowlers are used to having roofs over their heads. There's also the glare of the sun, the wind, and the New York City traffic. 6th Avenue is less than 25 yards from here. Today, it's not just concern over the lanes. It's more about the elements.
In fact, a new experience for our Final Four bowlers today, including top seed Mark Mosayebi.
Well, and for Mark Mosayebi, he's never been in a championship match before, so there certainly will be butterflies going through his stomach as he prepares for that championship match. And Mosayebi will take on the winner of our shootout, consisting of number 2 seed John Mazza, who's waited over 2 years for a shot at his 9th PBA title. Our number 3 seed is Eric Forkel. The consistent 11-year veteran patiently made his move late Friday night. And our number 4 seed is Rudy Kasimakis. They call him Rudy Revs. Watch and enjoy his release, and you'll understand why.
Hey, guys.
Well, you couldn't ask for a better day for bowling outdoors. Temperature in the mid-60s and in the forecast, plenty of sunshine. The New York City PBA Experience, first ever outdoor tournament. We are ready in our shootout round, and the winner of the shootout will take on top seed Mark Mosayebi. On the approach right now, John Mazza from Bay City, Michigan. And way to start things out as John Mazza gets them all down in the first frame, Marshall.
Powerful strike from John Mazza. And now, speaking of power, the quintessential power man on our tour, Rudy Kasimakis.
You mentioned they call Rudy Revs. Why?
Well, we'll see as you take a look at his release on this opening delivery. He's very, very strong. Puts a lot of roll on the ball. Bang. Well, coming up a little bit light. He leaves the 2-pin.
Rudy Kasimakis, second to 1998 PBA Rookie of the Year. Chris Barnes in the PBA Flagship Open in Erie in February of this year, Erie, Pennsylvania. And second last week to Doug Kent in the Brunswick Johnny Petraglia Open as he looks to convert the spare
First
in
spare in
his
the
first
park, baby.
frame. And he
First
does.
spare in the park.
Third bowler in the shootout round is Eric Forkel, 38-year-old, originally from California, lives in Tucson, Arizona, but will shortly, at the end of May, as a matter of fact, move on back to California. And it is sunny. The future's so bright for Eric that he's got to wear shades and bowling outside wearing shades. Well, here's a look at what happened last night in match play at Coram Country Lanes. Mark Mosayebi, 6-2 in match play, including a 300 game, secured the 1 spot. Eric Forkel defeating Parker Bone III, eliminating Bone from the tournament. And here is Forkel in his first frame attempt. And a strike for Forkel, a left-hander.
Forkel, a very methodical player, nothing flashy, just very consistent in his delivery.
On now to the second frame. John Mazza starting things out with a strike in the first, looking to double up.
For an early 10-pin lead, John Mazza. Been a couple of years, but I really don't think that layoff is hurting John Mazza, because today, for all 4 of our competitors, Gary, it's a whole new ball game outdoors.
Whole new ball game. There's a lot of things that the bowlers today have to deal with, Marshall.
Well, the glare off of the lanes, and you can see shadows on the lanes, which is something that is certainly different.
Kasimakis.
Now there's the 3, the 4, the 6, the 7, 10. Wow. Now the ball hooks early and goes right through the heart. Certainly more than just a little disappointed. He made the first spare in the park in the first frame. He'd like to make the first split in the park here in the second.
Nothing but a walk in the park, boys.
Rudy Kasimakis, as he makes this difficult split.
Well, not sure if it's going to be a walk in the park, but a couple of spares to open up and a great one in the second for Rudy Kasimakis. And here is Eric Forkel now in the second frame, and a couple for Forkel.
Well, our two lefties, Mazza and Forkel, nothing but strikes. For Rudy Kasimakis, it's a couple of spares.
John Mazza now up in the third frame, looking to make it 3 in a row.
And perfection for Mazza. And, you know, you talk about the different conditions out here, Gary. The biggest factor, in my opinion, is not the temperature outside, but the temperature on the lanes themselves. In the front part of the lanes, the temperature was over 100 degrees. Now, normally on our telecast, it never gets above about 72 to 74, so it'll make the oil carry down the lane faster. These bowlers are going to have to be very careful.
Kasimakis in the third. And finally, he picks up the strike after starting with a couple of spares.
Take a look at Rudy Kasimakis as he throws the ball way out to the right. He's big, he's strong, he can make it come back. Powerful strike.
Eric Forkel looking to maintain his position with John Mazza and pick up his third consecutive strike. And he answers. Forkel and Mazza tied after 3 in the shootout round. Welcome back. You know, we wondered what today's 4 bowlers thought about bowling outdoors.
The only thing I could think of was when I was a kid, I went bocce bowling one time, and it was outside, and that's the closest thing I could think of bowling would be outside.
I don't know what to expect. I don't. It's going to be wild. It's going to be a wild thing, and hopefully no birds come by. I have no idea.
It's going to be something different. Nobody's done it yet. There's no advantage to anybody. It's like you can practice in your backyard. This is going to be something totally new, and I'm looking forward to it.
You know, normally I mow the lawn outside and play golf. Now we're bowling, so that's what it's all about, man. It's New York. That's what it's all about, baby. It's a Big Apple.
Well, this is what New York was prepared for. We've got a framing here, and if we would have had some bad weather, this is what it would have looked like with the 10 up.
A re-rack for John Mazza, and we like it a whole lot better, Marshall, without the 10. Lets the sunshine in, but of course, as we mentioned, has some effect on the lanes. John Mazza starting out with 3 consecutive strikes. He is up in the 4th frame.
And possibly his best shot of the day, he leaves the solid 7-pin. 6-pin, 4-pin goes around the bottom of that 7.
1991, Mazza left the tour for a while, for about a half a year. He was a bit disillusioned. He went from being runner-up for Player of the Year that year to not getting a check in 7 straight tournaments while he was away. Assistant golf pro, awfully good golfer. And Mazza converts the spare in the 4th frame. That will break off his string of strikes.
Mazza finding a little bit of debris on the lanes. Remember, we're outside, and anything goes, basically.
There's going to be debris. John Mazza, 9 up on Forkel. Much larger lead on Rudy Kasimakis, who is on the lane right now.
Now soft 10 for Rudy Kasimakis. Ball just doesn't quite get back into the pocket. Take a look at Rudy Kasimakis' style. Look how high that backswing is. He loads and releases with a lot of authority. Unfortunately, the 10-pin not respecting it.
All right.
And Kasimakis picks up the spare. Access all the latest information on the PBA by checking out the PBA's website at www.pbatour.com. The site, sponsored by Brunswick, features the latest news, tournament standings, stats, and scheduled live chats with the pros.
Well, a different kind of 7-pin. 7-pin for Eric Forkel. Eric Forkel with the style you might want to teach your son or daughter. Very, very basic, very smooth. Needs to make the spare to stay tied with John Mazza. And he throws it in the channel, a mistake that Forkel would normally not make.
Oh my goodness, Marshall. Lane conditions, possibly the outdoor conditions contributing to that?
Maybe just a little lack of focus. You know, when you make a good shot and you leave a 7-pin or a 10-pin, we'll take a look. The ball's just going to fall into the channel. Unfortunately for Forkel, you know, sometimes you're so upset with yourself for leaving the 7 that you don't make it when you shoot at it. John Mazza taking advantage, immediately striking in the 5th frame.
John Mazza, 4 strikes and a spare through the first 5 frames. The lead over both Rudy Kasimakis and Eric Forkel. Big mistake for Forkel in the 4th.
Well, what it does is not only does it cost him 11 pins, Gary, but it ruins his momentum. Right now, momentum is something Kasimakis has got to try and establish, and the messenger comes back.
Forkel strikes. He's minus 12. That's what I'm talking about. Mazza's leading. Rudy's minus 24.
Rudy Kasimakis, 13 board, down to 6. There goes the head pin coming back. The messenger takes care of that 10 pin. And a big reaction from Big Rudy.
Eric Forkel with a strike.
All right. Mazza in lead. Forkel minus 12. Rudy's minus 24.
Right now, Mazza with a 12-pin lead over Eric Forkel. 24-pin lead over Rudy Kasimakis. Got to hold pocket. That ball looked to me, Gary, as if it was a little bit to the right of his target, but it did hold the pocket. There's a lot of lane oil down on these lanes, as I'm now being informed that the temperature on the lanes is about 95 degrees.
And of course, the viscosity of the oil on the lanes, very much like motor oil viscosity, breaking down in the hotter weather.
And when it breaks down, the lane oil goes down the lane. It makes it tougher to get the ball back into the pocket, to hook it back.
You like that one? You like that? That's what I'm talking about, baby. Right there. That's what it's all about. How's that?
Rudy Kasimakis having fun with Drew Carey.
There's Eric Forkel. See the gold ribbon with the CHS on it. Wearing that gold ribbon in memory of the school tragedy in Littleton, Colorado. Eric with daughters of his own, Heather and Erica. This is his way of showing support for the families involved in that terrible tragedy. Eric Forkel remaining tough and close in the game, sunglasses and all. Welcome back, John Mazza. This afternoon, PBA Hall of Famer Walter Ray Williams Jr. was joined by Broncos running back Terrell Davis for a youth clinic. The former Super Bowl MVP showed he has the talent to not just bowl over would-be tacklers, but also he believes this sport is fun for everyone.
So anybody can play. You just put some little bumpers in the gutters and let the kids play it, and everybody gets a thrill out of it. So it's not like you have to be a certain height, a certain weight. You don't have to be a different, women and men can play it alike. So it's a great sport for everybody.
And earlier today, Drew Carey joined King of Queens star Kevin James, Parker Bowen III, and Chris Barnes in a Celebrity Challenge match. Awful lot of fun. Marshall, there is Drew. Look at that form.
Well, I don't know if I want to critique that form, but I like that strike.
High five from Parker Bowen III, Kevin James from King of Queens.
And this shot is a little bit wide, not unlike Kevin James.
1, 2, 3.
And then if that wasn't enough, here's a trick shot with Drew Carey and Parker Bowen III.
They're trying to pick up this split. 1 pin each, and they both miss.
Parker Bowen has big ideas.
Unbelievable. What a fun day. Drew Carey in attendance today watching our shootout round and championship match here at the New York City PBA Experience. Back to bowling now. John Mazza with the lead is up in the 7th frame.
Really getting to the point of the match where need to keep the momentum going. Light hit, carries. Mazza saving his emotion for later in the match.
And Marshall, Mazza didn't even make a championship round appearance since 1997, so apparently the pressure of being here in the city is not having an effect.
Well, I really think this is a very big equalizer, bowling here outside. Nobody's done it before, so advantage, no one.
Kasimakis now.
For 3 in a row. Another soft 10 for Rudy Kasimakis. You can hear Rudy saying, I just couldn't get the ball around the corner. As we said earlier, the temperature of the lanes makes the oil go down longer. Rudy's having a tough time getting his ball to hook back into the pocket because the lane oil is traveling down the lane.
I made mine.
And Kasimakis picks up the spare. Well, 3rd round coverage of the Shell Houston Open underway. Hal Sutton, 10 under, has the lead. Clarence Rose finished for the day a 64. Shell Houston Open coming up. Here's the last shot.
Picking up the 10 pin with the harder ball. No problem making it, but, well, he doesn't want to leave it. As Eric Forkel now on the left-hand lane, and what a break. He crosses over, giving new meaning to the word Brooklyn as he trips the 4-pin. Eric Forkel looks pretty good, but boy, so fortunate. He knows how lucky he was. Stays right in the match.
Mazza looking to continue that pressure, leaves the 7th.
Now, that's the tough part about professional bowling. Eric Forkel on the left-hand lane makes a shot that really was just god-awful, and Mazza right in the pocket, leaves the 7th pin.
John Mazza likes to play the stock market, and E-Trader, he's been into it about 4 months, and he'd like to pick up this spare, and he does. Continuing his assault on the lead in the shootout round. Mazza, 12-pin lead over Eric Forkel, 35 over Rudy Kasimakis. Kasimakis up now. Entered last week's tournament as the top seed, 4th seed this week.
Now Kasimakis, he strikes, giving him a possible 234. If he can take it all the way out. From Kasimakis, that high backswing, swinging the ball out, brings it back solid in the pocket. Yeah, that's right.
Now Forkel.
Well, he did exactly what he wanted to do. Gets a great break and then makes that great strike.
Marshall, what does John Mazza have to do to hang on now to win the shootout round?
Well, you know, Mazza's been making very, very good shots. Forkel got very fortunate where he threw the off-hit strike and then had a good one behind it, a good one in front of it. For Mazza, it's just maintain your form, keep making good shots in the pocket. That ball's got a hook. Hooks right by the 8-pin. So far, the breaks have gone none for Mazza
Great shot,
and
John.
a couple for Forkel. Ball drives right by the 8-pin. These are the 3-pound, 10-ounce Brunswick Pro pins, but that ball, powerfully delivered, goes right through them.
So John Mazza needs this. Had a commanding lead early. That has disappeared.
Well, easy conversion of the 8-pin for a professional. John Mazza, possible 247.
Mazza, Forkel, even up. Kasimakis, well down. Might have to wait for another day. Here's his shot.
Well, he definitely needs this one. Come on, it's got a hook. He leaves the 2, the 4, the 8, and the 10. And for Rudy Kasimakis, that is just about going to seal his fate. And this is the lane he was having trouble making the hill on, getting the ball back up to the pocket. Oil carrying down. Ball does not get high enough on the head pin.
A lot of revolutions on the ball of Kasimakis.
And he does exactly what's necessary to make it. Hits light on the 2-pin.
All right, Maz.
This is the way to make this fair. Hook it. Knock the pins over into the 10, and the pins go in front of it and behind it. Unbelievable for Rudy Kasimakis.
It's between John Mazza and Eric Forkel in the 9th frame. They are dead even.
Forkel to go up 10 pins with a strike here. And most importantly, with that strike, John Mazza cannot shut out Eric Forkel.
And of course, John Mazza now must strike to match Eric Forkel in the 9th frame.
Another solid 7. The first ball in the 10th frame for John Mazza. The best he can do is 236. Watch the 4-pin as it goes around the 7, and the reaction of John Mazza, who he really did everything necessary to win this match. He still may, but he'll need some help from Eric Forkel.
Ninth frame.
10th frame.
10th frame, rather. And Mazza does convert.
236, the best game John Mazza can bowl.
The winner of our shootout round will take on our #1 seed this week, Mark Mosayebi, who basically headed towards the end of match play.
Now the 7-pin falls, Mazza says. Here comes the help from the 7-pin. It falls down. The reaction of Mazza. Oh, thanks. Kasimakis just finishing out the 10th frame. A similar shot to that of John Mazza. Rudy Kasimakis becoming a regular fixture on our
Hey, Dennis.
Telecast.
Slide still hits harder, baby.
Back appearances for Kasimakis the last couple of weeks.
It's easy when it's out of the wood.
No more pressure on Kasimakis as he finishes out the game with a couple of strikes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Eric Forkel bowling for the win. Marshall, what does he need to do?
Well, Eric Forkel simply needs to mark in the 10th frame. A spare or a strike. I'm sure he'd like to throw a strike and get it over with, but any kind of a mark. If not, if he were to open, John Mazza would go up against Mosayebi for the title.
A high five for Drew Carey. CBS Sports coverage of the New York City PBA experience will continue after this message and a word from your local station. Eric Forkel will advance to take on the top seed Mark Mosayebi in the championship match. And Mark Mosayebi right now is on the lanes, and he's doing some warming up, getting ready for that championship. Coming up next week, we'll be in Syracuse, New York at the On Center for the American Bowling Congress Masters next Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on CBS. Qualifying and match play this week contested at Coram Country Lanes in Coram, New York. Here's a look at the other match play finalists. 6th place, 19-time PBA titleist Parker Bone III just missed making his 5th finals appearance. Doug Kent, well, you saw him last week on our telecast winning his 3rd PBA title, close up all week, but faltered a bit on Friday, had to settle for 9th. Part-time touring pro Joe Viscardi from Wantagh, New York, thrilled the hometown fans by appearing in match play, finishing 13th. Checking in at number 19 was Mike Miller, who rolled a pair of perfect games this week, won his 3rd career title in Dallas earlier this year. Rounding out the top 24, Oregon native Brian Smith, making his 3rd consecutive match play appearance and 4th of the year. Well, if you thought bowling simply involved throwing a ball down a lane, think again. In our tip of the week, Marshall Holman looks at how the sport has gone high-tech.
Today's Score More with Brunswick segment brings us to the Brunswick High Performance Facilities in Muskegon, Michigan. We're here to show you Throwbot, the latest technological advancement in the world of bowling. Brunswick's one-of-a-kind $1 million computerized ball thrower. A Throwbot can be set up to throw the ball like any bowler by matching their speed, revolution rate, release height, loft, and amount of lift and turn. Here we set up Throwbot to throw the ball like straight shooter Walter Ray Williams Jr. Now we've changed the settings to hook the whole lane, like Chris Barnes. The information from Throwbot gives the R&D staff at Brunswick a state-of-the-art way to develop new, better reacting balls for all levels of bowlers.
Didn't we see him in the movie Star Wars? A Throwbot, that is, not Holman. There is a slight resemblance, though, to R2-D2. The championship match between Eric Forkel and number 1 seed Mark Mosayebi is coming up next. Welcome back, everyone. Well, Marshall, top seed Mark Mosayebi has not bowled in 10 frames. What kind of disadvantage is that for him?
Well, the advantage is Eric Forkel has bowled a game, and a big one, 267. I look for Eric Forkel to win this match. Mark Mosayebi's really going to have to work hard to get into this one.
Championship match, number 1 seed Mark Mosayebi. Eric Forkel, advancing from the shootout round, will take him on. Mark Mosayebi, first frame in the championship match.
And important to get off to a good start. This is the lane that was a little easier for the right-handed bowlers, for Rudy Kasimakis in the last game, but it's a solid 10 for Mark Mosayebi. We'll watch the 6-pin. It's going to go right around the 10. We've seen it so many times. Such a frustrating shot. Important to get off to a decent start, make the spare mark. Mosayebi has no problem with that.
Mark Mosayebi converting the spare in the first frame. First time ever bowling outdoors. Live in Bryant Park in New York City. And Eric Forkel certainly liked it in the shootout round. And he likes it so far in the championship match. Marshall starting out very hot with a strike in the first.
Now, Forkel had no problem on the right-hand lane. It was the left-hand lane that gave him a little trouble, but when he did make his bad shot, carried a Brooklyn strike, so everything working for him.
Hey, Marsh, you ever bowled with sunglasses before?
Never bowled with sunglasses, but I'll tell you, if I was out there right now, Gary, I'd be wearing shades, and I'd like to be out there. This looks like a lot of fun.
Oh, leaving the big 4, Eric Forkel.
That's the lane that gave him problem. Last time he made a bad shot on lane 1, a Brooklyn strike. This time, right through the nose, the 4, 6, 7, 10, and he knows the trouble right now. And really all you can do here, Gary, is just go for the count. Just take 2 pins. He's working on a strike, so if he were only to get 1, he would lose a couple extra pins.
Give it a try.
And that's exactly what he's done.
Well, at least I got the 7. Forkel happy that he at least got the 7. He's still in the game.
That's early in the match. Forkel reassuring himself that he's still in the game. Very important here for Mosayebi, the right-hand lane. Now, he throws the ball a lot slower. Maybe he can get to climb the hill that Rudy couldn't climb. He does it. Our first look at Mark Mosayebi, shoulder-high backswing, nice and fluid. And look at that great knee bend. I want to tell you, that is so good, so crucial to the game.
Mark Mosayebi had a 300 game this week, and that did, in fact, help him to the top seed on Friday night. Had an excellent Friday night.
Started out with 300. And another solid 10 for Mark Mosayebi. You know, I said it just moments ago that I gave Eric Forkel, you know, the big advantage in this match. Mosayebi's the one making the quality shots right now.
And Mosayebi converts. Well, for in-depth sports coverage with late-breaking news, updated scores and stats, go to cbs.sportsline.com or on America Online. Enter keyword CBS Sportsline. Mark Mosayebi through 3. A couple of spares and a strike. Eric Forkel finds himself down early by 16 with an open in the second, looking to redeem himself in the third.
And Gary, Forkel very fortunate to only be down by 16 pins. Mosayebi had a solid 10 first frame, solid 10 third frame with that strike in between. Could easily have at least a couple strikes in a row right now. Forkel with the opportunity to cut it to a 6-pin lead with a strike here in the 4th frame.
Get up. Thank you.
And so far for Forkel, really all good breaks for Forkel. You know, I mean, he did leave the big 4 in the 2nd frame, but he kind of got what he deserved, made a bad shot. But every time he's hit the pocket, for the most part, his carry percentage very, very good.
Down 6 to Mosayebi right now. This is Mosayebi's 3rd career PBA television appearance. His first is the top seed.
And that slower speed really helping out Mosayebi on the right-hand lane. He's having absolutely no problems. Take a look just how far he gets this ball out to the right. Starts it around the 14 board. It's on 3 right there, but it's coming back and takes care of everything.
Mark Mosayebi started bowling about 10. He used to go to a bowling center in Charlotte, North Carolina. His mom lived next to one, but he didn't go for bowling at first. He went to play the video games at the bowling center. Got into bowling after that.
And the 10-pin responds for Mark Mosayebi in that particular frame. And a shot he deserved. Take a look at the eyes of Mark Mosayebi. He's going to stare down this 10-pin. About time.
Eric Forkel now in the 5th frame.
Yeah.
A very tough player from a mental standpoint, Eric Forkel. Doesn't let anything bother him. And I think the fact that he doesn't have a problem with distractions probably lends well for bowling in this very unique environment. Taking a little extra time for Forkel. And then he looks down, doesn't have an 8-pin in the rack.
I'll shoot the 9 pins, it'd be easier.
He's definitely missing that 8-pin. And
no 8 pins.
Not only is Eric bowling well, but he's also having fun out there. He'd rather shoot at the 9 pins if they'd let him. I don't think that's in the PBA rules, is it, Marsh?
I'm not sure he could ever get away with that. He's the one that saw it. He's got 10 pins now. He likes the way the rack looks, and he's ready to bowl.
Yeah! Eric Forkel, patience is a virtue, comes up with the strike. Welcome back to the first ever outdoor PBA event championship match. Eric Forkel, 4-pin lead over the top seed Mark Mazza.
Mazza with the opportunity to recapture that lead with a strike here in the 6th frame. Hasn't missed on this lane. And he still hasn't, and he's taking advantage of the power stroke that he has. Slow speed, good roll. The pins are just responding, as we'll see right here. Ball coming from a good angle, taking care of all of them. Light hits are friendly.
You know, Marshall, a little bit of concern about how the scores would be outdoors, but Eric Forkel won the shootout round with a 267, and our 2 competitors in the championship match are turning out a pretty good score as well.
And I am surprised. This is the lane that he's left the 10 pins on. Not now. And he stares down Eric Forkel after that shot. Mark Mosayebi on the left-hand lane makes another great shot. This is a man who should be nervous, but doesn't seem to be. Makes the great delivery. All the pins respond. And all right, Eric, back up to you.
Forkel answers.
Oh, I have a frickin'...
Take a look at the 7 pin. It'll just barely be nudged out by the 4. And please.
Marshall, I don't ever recall seeing Eric Forkel this loose.
Well, he's animated. I think the moment, the city, the people, the fresh air, maybe that's it.
That could be. Whatever it is, it's working. And another strike tonight on CBS is all new, beginning with Early Edition, followed by the ultimate battle of good versus evil when Tybo master Billy Blanks guest stars on Martial Law, and Chuck Norris stars on Walker, Texas Ranger. America's Night of Heroes is all new tonight on CBS. 8th frame of the championship match. 4 pins separate our 2 bowlers.
Really, the first break for Mark Mosayebi, that ball looked a little bit high in the pocket, but it held, it set up just at the last minute. They're going toe-to-toe, strike for strike.
And Marshall, neither bowler seems to be affected or adversely affected by any of the outdoor elements, whether it's the shadows on the lanes that all the guys have had to deal with today. Nothing seems to bother them. They're both bowling well.
I don't know, maybe I'm the only one nervous here. These guys are doing great. Mosayebi +6, looking to take it to 16.
Yeah!
Great action. Mark Mosayebi just answering back Eric Forkel with each shot that he throws. And this was a great one as it comes back into the pocket, knocks out that 10 pin.
Yeah!
I think you like that one.
What was the tip-off?
Eric Forkel. Solid 7, like Mazza before him. Crucial shot, unfortunate. Great shot from Eric Forkel. We'll take a look at the 4 pin as it wraps around the bottom of the 7 pin. Forkel likes it right here.
Well, each winner from the Spring-Summer Tour automatically qualifies for the match play portion of the AC Delco All-Star Classic. That event includes the Spring-Summer segment of CBS Sports, and the winner here will qualify for the match play portion. You see the other 3 that already have, including last year's defending champion Steve Hoskins. Mark Mosayebi putting a little distance now between himself and Eric Forkel.
And that was a key shot for Eric in the 9th frame. Did not strike. Needs to strike out here to shoot a possible 243. It still may not be enough. Boy, we've really witnessed some great bowling today from all of our competitors.
Mosayebi checking the score.
And if I've done my math correctly, Gary, Eric Forkel needs to strike here to really put the pressure on Mosayebi and make him at least get a mark with good count. For any chance.
Yes. Forkel keeping that pressure on.
He's going to make Mosayebi show up in the 10th frame, and stranger things have happened. But for Eric Forkel, really, he's shown a lot of determination, a lot of guts, coming back from making that bad shot in the 2nd frame to really make nothing but great shots, you know, the last 8 frames of this match.
Going to add even more pressure.
Yeah! And it's 243 for Eric Forkel. We see Eric Forkel on his final shot here. Comes in a little bit high, but he trips down the 6 pin.
Yeah!
He's satisfied with himself.
In a couple of games, 267 and 243 for Eric Forkel. What does Mosayebi need to do to win?
Any kind of a mark. That's got to stop. And there is a gift for Eric Forkel. It's not over yet, Gary, but Mosayebi must make this split. Mosayebi just cut this ball short, did not get the proper loft down the lane. It's right through the nose. It's the 6, the 7, and the 10. And the reaction, he knows he's in trouble, and you know, you just don't get that many opportunities. Mosayebi's put himself in a very, very difficult position. If he were to make this and then strike, he'd shoot 247. So if he can make this, a very, very good chance that he can throw the 7 pins necessary to win the match. But first time out of the pocket on the right-hand lane for Mosayebi, it may have just cost him the title.
And that is it. You can put a fork in Mark Mosayebi. Eric Forkel is the winner of the New York City PBA Experience. We'll be back to Bryant Park in just a moment.
I'm sorry.
Eric Forkel, our winner. Let's go down to Marshall Holman.
All right, thank you very much, Gary. John Laspina, proprietor of Country Quorum Lanes with the trophy, and Fred Sporjanik, president of Brunswick Division, with the check.
Congratulations, Eric. That was a great, great game. First outdoor PBA event.
All right, that's all we have time for. Back up to you, Gary.
So for Marshall Holman, I'm Gary Sayville saying so long from New York, where Eric Forkel has won the New York City PBA Experience. CBS Sports coverage of the Pro Bowlers Tour continues next Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern with the American Bowling Congress Masters. Coming up next, the PGA Tour. CBS Sports presents live third-round coverage of the Shell Houston Open.